Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our November Graber Monthly webinar. This is going to be a fun one. We will be covering home decor trends and looking towards 2021. So before I hand it off to some of our presenters, thought we would put some faces to voices for your hosts today. So my name is Kelly Kobler. I am the channel marketing manager for the Designer channel. Shannon Schumacher will also be a presenter covering all your trends. And Maureen Alto will be presenting in the tail end, and she will cover some of the new Graber Visualizer updates that have happened recently. So here's just a quick look at our agenda today. The bulk of the presentation will cover this fun topic of trends and how that relates back to Graber products and what to expect in terms of interior design. And then we will cover the Graber Visualizer updates, and we will briefly touch on a new post-purchase program for your consumers. We will then have questions, of course, at the end, and we will also pause for questions between the sections.
Good morning. Pleasure to meet everyone. I hope you can hear me. We have some exciting things planned for Graber Color and Trend, and I cannot wait to share them with you. So with that, we've identified 3 macro trends that will drive the mood, design details, and color palettes that you'll see in our upcoming 2021 product assortments. These trend buckets also help us to create cross-category harmony in color and pattern planning, as well as finishes to create an opportunity for a holistic look so you can really live in Graber. As we formulated and researched these trends, they were looked at from a global level and then filtered for our regional need and proper brand application for Graber. The macro trends of considered comfort, adapting nature, and abstract statements can be applied to many types of interior decors. They're offered in trans-seasonal color palettes, which are very essential and are viewed as seasonless. They all have market longevity, as well as it will definitely resonate with our Graber consumer. So considered comfort. It's literally about how we are considering bringing comforting aesthetics into our home. This is a global demand for residential interior relaxation. This is something that was trending way before the pandemic, and now there's a real hyper focus as many of us are spending a substantial amount of time at home. There used to be something called FOMO, the fear of missing out, which has definitely been superseded by JOMO, the joy of missing out. Window treatments play a huge role in helping us provide calm and relaxation to our residents. With that, we've identified some key aesthetics to help. On to the next slide. Some of the key attributes you can look for in buzzwords for design details are ways that we've refined weaves and added a premium look with a softer textile finish, adding a hazy glow through opacity plays and ambient light. That's something that's really dynamic in your room when you have those subtle changes in light value. Restorative finishes and treatments like patinaing and ombre. There's really been some mindful design in helping bring in calm, but with these restorative finishes. Warm neutrals, they're more vibrant this season and they're becoming more vibrant, but still give you a grounding in earth. They're no longer muddy. They used to be really sallow and muddy, and you'll see there's this brightness about them. Key shades to look for will be taupe, various shades of brown, and soft linen. They'll really emerge when you start to tell your warm, neutral color palette story. Looking at a soft hand will be key. This is having incredible texture that is appropriate, as well as approachable and soft to the touch. Inky blues. These shades are very important. Also, this was Pantone's color of the year is blue. It's a classic blue, but these are inky blues that we're focused on, and they evoke a feeling of calm and authenticity. And we've played with various tints to help establish a serene environment. Metallic luster. So this is another attribute we brought in. It's very subtle. It's not in your face metallic. It's just a delicate detail to help elevate, as well as its subtle application throughout our product assortments, which add a premium look when you pair with soft textures or if you want to layer a window. So our current home hub has shifted to a hyper multitasking environment. As we are working, entertaining, playing, and trying to rest at home, you'll find our twinning 2021 product offerings will support and seamlessly fit in to our new residential needs. Consumers are really looking to buy into a mood and color, and color is the best way to communicate that mood with various shades and tones. So you'll see our calming and anti-anxiety color palettes, such as warm neutrals with muted pastels, mineral metallics with inky blues. That's one color palette story, as well as rose beige, terracotta, soft white, various levels of organic saturated greens, pale wheat and warm neutrals, and then some others that just help tell some strong stories regarding your assortments as you look at it. Also, these colors are really complemented by the restorative finishes that we've infused into the line. So you'll look at these subtle ombres, uncoated yarns to give you a softer texture and not a high shine, with mixed material blends. So adding the marl texture and not just having a flat surface, actually having the depth to, so you want to go in and look at those tones and shades of color, amplify refined textures and weaves. And that's something that if you have a really soft texture and it has a mixed material colorway, it can look extremely rich in your home and very subtle and also very calming. We've done a lot of play with matte and satin sheen, so that juxtapositioning is extremely elevated and modern, but when you start putting it in different shades of brown, it can really be calming and look very premium at the same time. We've added in different slope striations, so you have that imperfect perfection, is what I like to call it, that give you some of that natural feel, but also that textural interest to make you want to go in and touch. And you'll see tiny twists and braids, refined textures, and I had already mentioned patina transformations, but you'll start to see these washed effects that happen to really add just that sense of cozy, calm comfort. So this is a sneak peek at the restorative finish I was talking about for ombre. You'll see that it's highlighted in a warm neutral color palette, but this is very exciting. It's definitely fresh and modern, but it's a great way to set off your room. So as we look at warm neutrals, this is a great window that shows how you can layer the warm neutrals into a window treatment with great texture play. So this refined weave natural shade is in taupe, and it's complemented by the linen-like drapery with the soft sheen and geometric details. If you scoot in closer to it, you can see there's this subtle soft sheen that plays off of these soft textures and the warm neutrals. It's like a big hug in your room. So this cellular with a soft top finish is in a marl texture with a brown hue, and it really helps to soften the look of a sterile kitchen. And I think it does a great job in this room, and it's amplified by that brown, and you can really see the texture and it plays it up. The last for Consider Comfort is looking at the inky blue hues and how this has been transpired into cellular right here for this image is a great read. And it's actually a very soft, just a really softer blue. It's not super saturated. And then when you put it into the window, it really highlights it and actually softens it a little bit more. So as we look at adapting nature, this macro trend is all about how we're adapting nature physically outdoors and how we are looking to find it natural and nature into our home space, and how are we infusing that. This is stemming again from a hyper digital world, but the consumer is looking to seek refuge and reconnect with nature, as well as this huge shift in wellness. It's now a lifestyle, so you're finding that harmony of nature and wellness and those attributes becoming an ecosystem within your home, and you're living it. We've identified some key aesthetics to help. So you'll find a way to really connect and adapt nature into your home through biophilic pattern. That's the reconnected can be achieved through patterns with botanicals, leaves, plant outlines. And using the term biophilic is just an updated way to speak about plant patterns. Instead of saying, here are my flowers, here are my palms, whatever, you can just say biophilic, as well as looking at grainy mixes and tinted transparencies, looking at light plays and pairing to add depth to your window treatment. Sun-baked shades will be super key as colors are muted and tinted. Key colors you'll see are like Loden green, muted sage, and terracottas. Then going to sustainable. So looking at material choices and those intuitive colors that make you connect that it's sustainable. Homespun textures. So natural fiber weaves. And as I had mentioned earlier, but that imperfect perfection. So it's done by hand, handcrafted. And again, it's bringing that texture into your home, but what you're finding with nature. So you're bringing in just jutes and sisals, bamboo, whatnot, as you're looking into those weaves, and it looks very homespun and crafted, but that's really being embraced right now, as well as nourishing earth tones. So looking at warm neutrals, the brown shades, and having them paired with the mineral metallics. So as we bring in nature, biophilic products will continue to be relevant and extremely important. Selling a sense of calm will be very key. In our products, you'll find that connection of comfort, quiet, and peace through colors that we've infused and the color stories that we're telling, as well as the pattern plays and those textures. The consumer can really be embraced by that. And healthy home and wellness interiors, their expectations, they're no longer focused on a specific purchase. It's a lifestyle for some consumers, and we have a sustainable offering to help foster that connection. So as we're talking about color palettes and how we've brought in different tones and shades to talk about adapting nature, there are a myriad of ways you can do it. We have found some really great harmony throughout all of the product categories in Graber that you can look at infuse sun-baked shades. So consumers will have a chance to reconnect with nature and bring the outdoor colors into their home with sun-baked shades. So with that, the Loden green, muted sage, rose beige, terracotta, linen, soft white, and warm neutrals, and then pairing them with the mineral metallics like bronze, pewter, and then infusing that with a classic black. We've done a great job of bringing some life to metallics and helping tell that really rounded story of sun-baked shades. We'll also look at restorative color, where that focuses a lot on the intuitive, sustainable, softer colors that look eco-friendly. So this is a great example of nourishing earth tones, but how these wood blinds play up the natural appeal of the wood, and they're in a modern blonde tone. Those blonde shades are going to be key as you're connecting back to nature, as you're looking at considered comfort. It's all about softening the hues, and these blonde wood shades are gorgeous, and they highlight the wood grain. So this is another literal way to bring nature into your home. So biophilic pattern, you can see abstract lines to the foliage on the left, as well as the quiet tonal botanical on the right. So this is just different consumers, how they can embrace and bring nature into their home in different ways, where the right is a little more modern and the left is definitely a little more classic, and it's quiet and more subdued. So we have a nice marriage of all different types of patterns throughout our collections and offerings. So as we talk about sustainable and that connection to eco-friendly color and having that literal translation, you can see this is an offering that we have in sustainable, but it directly hooks back to a very soft, muted sage. So there is that connection, and I think it's highlighted fabulously in this kids' playroom. Our last and final macro trend is abstract statements. This macro trend will blur the lines between digital and real aesthetics. Playful proportions, illusions, shadows, grids, and opacity can help to drive the consumer's curiosity and creativity. Like the shade in this image to the left has a dynamic impact to your room with its geometric print, but based on the highlighted light filtering pattern through it, it really sets your room off and gives it some dynamism to it. As we have identified some of these key aesthetics, you can help identify these through woven grids, looking at pattern scale, industrial weaves, and then the industrial waves and 3D effect. So all of these attributes will be highlighted through the uniqueness of textures, patterns, and prints. So you'll look to the organic folds and ribs, tribal block prints, artisan hand sketches, underlying grids, and then second surface pattern interest. I know that's a big one, but that's giving that drop shadow and that value of when you walk into the room, it looks one way because of how the light is being casted. And then when you get up closer, it moves based on how you're engaging with the window treatment. So there's some really great depth and fun stories to have with the patterns that we have for abstract statements. With that, so like this shade that's on the left, this is highlighted. So you have an artisan tribal block print that's highlighted in a monochromatic color palette. And that's something that as we look at these unique textures and patterns, we want to make sure they're amplified with some really unique color stories. So we've paired them with high contrast combinations, monochromatic color tones, and then as well as some restful restorative colors. But we've also paired this with some really fun metallics, which you'll get to see. So this is a great way to look at the Woven Grid Natural Shade. I love this one. It was so unexpected, and I just think it's fabulous because of how, one, it really plays with the light and you have a lot of fun. It is a natural shade that's modern and it's refined and elegant. It's just beautiful, and it really plays with every attribute I had mentioned earlier regarding looking at abstract statements. So as we look at mineral metallics and industrial waves, these waves are a perfect complement with subtle luster and white gold. So you can see that there are these ripples and textures that are going through it. And then there's a really soft top sheen of a gilded metallic that we're calling white gold. That it just looks beautiful, and it really sets off those waves. So there's that subtle texture and the highlight in your room, and it can be very impactful. And the last room, this is a 3D effect on this layered window. It really allows for some dynamic texture in the room, and how this is layered, it looks so premium and luxe, but you really focus on that pattern, and that light that amplifies it from behind really looks like a 3D texture. It's beautiful, and it's really flanked by those soft draperies, help set off that pattern as well. So with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you're excited about the 2021 Graber product assortment coming your way. And you probably have a bunch of questions if you couldn't hear me very well on color and trend. So I'm happy to help answer.
Thank you, Shannon. We did have a couple questions come through at the tail end there. So a lot of you are curious, which is something that we wanted with some of those sneak peek images, curious what the shade names and colors and collections are. Many of those are going to be available in our upcoming Roller Solar platform. So like we said, that's just a little bit of a sneak peek. As we get closer, we will, of course, disclose more information and obviously make that available in terms of sampling. So please be on the lookout for that. We did have a question come through when we were talking about sustainable shades and if they are Green Guard certified. If not, do we have a selection of Green Guard certified shades? The answer is yes. That particular shade, I would have to double check, but we absolutely do have Green Guard certified fabrics in multiple different product lines from Graber, and they are always noted if they are Green Guard certified or FR retardant in the product information guide and in your sampling. So all of those are called out within the fabrics. Yes, all the fabrics that we did show today in the room scenes, they're all Graber. Many of the slides were accompanied by the captions, which identified which product line they are in. So once we have the recording available, you'll be able to take a look back and see. And then just some comments on awesome photos. Are they in the inspiration library? That answer is yes. Any photography that we make available for the program can usually be found in the resource library in the digital toolkits for download for high res. So I encourage everyone to go to the resource library and filter down to the toolkits to see downloadable inspiration images. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Shannon. If any other questions come through, we'll be sure to address, but for the sake of time, we're going to move on to the next section of the presentation where we will run through the new Graber Visualizer updates. And I just wanted to quick note what we're going to run through. In recent weeks, we have made some updates to not only the functionality, but the options within the visualizer. And Maureen is actually going to take us into the tool itself to show some of these updates. So I'm going to stop share and I will have Maureen take over.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And hi, everyone. Glad to be here with you and to talk about my favorite selling tool, which is the Graber Visualizer. Now, some of you, and I'm hoping all of you, joined me last May on the number of webinars that we offered to walk you through the steps of how to use the Graber Visualizer in your selling process. I'm a huge fan of this because I see this tool being able to reduce the sales call cycle time, as well as assisting on supporting keeping it sold. It builds confidence in what your customers, the end consumer, are selecting. So I'm going to walk you through these enhancements, but if you haven't played with it in a while, hopefully this will encourage you to do so, but I'll call out some kind of best practices and key steps. So let me just walk you through here. Remember, it's on graberblinds.com. Click on Visualizer, and then we're going to come to our landing page. If you haven't been in it lately, this looks new. This is far more intuitive for your use and for the navigation. You may recall the previous kind of 3 boxes that were kind of a top to bottom row. This gives you greater understanding of what you're clicking and what to expect in that experience. So whether you're going to upload photo of your client's window or use our room scenes. I personally love room scenes for a lot of the initial kind of qualifying, probing calls that you're having, whether it's virtual or in person, to really discern likes and dislikes. Then moving to the upload photo to really bring it home and build confidence in the product. The other piece that I love here too on this landing page is how we call out the element of ordering swatches. Whether virtual in home you at least can have the sample book there with you to really showcase the color and allow that touch and feel. But if you're doing virtual, take advantage of the free order swatching system so the customer can have that confidence in the color and fabric. And of course, Visualizer, also a lead tool for you. It is on graberblinds.com. So as people come in, we can generate leads for you. They have the capability, as you do as well for your clients, and able to save rooms through your free account that you have set up on Graber Blinds. Again, different than from Graber Direct. You can access it from here or anytime you're within Visualizer. Now, Kelly gave you kind of that sneak peek of all the exciting stuff that's coming in this presentation. So I'm going to start with the one that I think is the biggest time saver and probably was the piece that you were most maybe intimidated or frustrated with. So let's go to upload photo. Always remember, best photos are horizontal landscape. A lot of reasons for that, just best practice to do so. So I'm going to choose my photo. So that's going to give me just a second here, and I'm going to select this one from our office. Before I go into the steps of instructions, let me just X that out. You should recognize this. This is the mask that we use to set the parameters to place the window treatment over the window. So you may remember how we had to click and drag, and if you had multiple windows, add. Well, let me show you this. This is so fun. Now, as I do this, we have an auto detect. So it's reading for the window. I mean, computer science today, just amazing, right? This is a photo, but yet it's going to be able to read the window. But as I do this, just kind of look at the bottom of my screen here of what you're seeing. And you're going to see something else pop up. Boop, boop, boop. Little treat there. So let's do the auto detect. And look at that. And if you saw in the pop-up, it notated that it detected the window, but it also detected other items. 4 objects and 1 other. And I'm going to show you those in a moment. Now, this doesn't always get it 100% precise. And part of that, as you can see, we have this continuation of our wood paneling from the interior to the exterior. So that kind of confused it just a little bit and why I like to use this. So I'm going to just reduce this and let me expand to full screen and then just reduce it a little bit more so you can get the look. To just do what I'll call fine tuning, then you can do the click and drag here for the window. And then we can go right into the visualize, which is here on your left nav. But I'm missing a step. I don't know if anybody caught that. So in here, before I do that, I need to have my measurements in. So when we do any type of that, you have then, and let me pull that up. I just have to minimize this chat. The ability to know what the approximate size is. So it gathers whether it's a cellular or going to shutters and so forth, the right sizing for those cells, as well as louver slats, so forth. So I'm going to put in our approximate width in here. And if I wanted to do multiple windows, I could do this, which are highlighted still in your instructions here. Always remember, instructions are in the right-hand side of the screen under the hamburger menu. If it ever disappears, just click, all your steps are there. So I'm going to show you this neat piece. One, that masking super fast, and now I'm going to visualize. It's on our default setting for this, always when you upload a photo, in the pure white for the cellular shade. But if you recall previously, it hanged all the way to the bottom. Now it doesn't. So watch what happens here. Ooh. Now, if you remember before this enhancement, the shade or blind would have come in front of these objects. So what happened? More great tools to make this easier for you. So I'm going to click on redraw mask so I can show you. When you come down to the bottom, you have the mask windows. Well, we already did that. Then we have mask object. It's already pre-masked. How cool is that? Think of the life-saving time. I have done a number of different videos, user guides, and so forth, which I hope you all have viewed previously in Graber Direct. And you may remember I had a very large kind of sectional sofa with a lot of pillows in front of this great big amazing window. Well, that took me like a half hour to really fine tune all those pillows. I don't have to do that now. Boy, am I a super happy camper. So here, this is going to allow you to move very quickly to go through the visualization. Again, whether you do this virtually, where they send you the photo ahead of time, or you're in the home and doing it live. Now, if I did need to fine tune, as you can see, I have a little off right here. You can just click for the fine tune and then click onto your object. Now I already see a multitude of dots, so I really don't need to fine tune. If I was doing that, I would be clicking to add more dots. All I'm doing is taking the hand and moving the hand. Now, the other one that's new here on the bottom, mask floor. You might be like, well, why the heck do I need to mask a floor? Well, I'm going to show you in just a minute. Because of new added product categories, the floor plays a more important role. And here you can see it did the outline. So at times you may need to just do a little bit of smoothing of that. Just click on the mask and then you can make any adjustments you need to just kind of finish the floor as you see fit. So again, great way to keep it moving, simplify, and take away what was may have been seen by you as something that was a bit maybe tedious or time consuming to conduct. So let's go back to our visualize. Again, really nothing has changed on the left navigation. So you still have those great capabilities as compare. And remember, when you do 2 images and compare, that's a direct side by side. What a great tool for you to use with your clients for them to really see the difference, especially when it comes to items around view, when you're really trying to articulate what happens with the size slat or with cords. You get greater visual understanding so you can really rest assured that your client has the right expectation when install comes. So let's change the product here. And I'm going to show you why, again, this flooring masking was so important. So I'm going to come over to product type. And you saw from Kelly, we have some new products. Well, I'm really jazzed about draperies being added in here. Look at that. So now with the floor masking, I have the capability to start establishing floor masking to represent correctly for any of my length, height when it comes to drapery. So you've known it at the bottom where we can open and close. Look at that movement. I just love that. I think that's just fantastic. But here, what I can also do based on the different windows, I can go to a puddle length. I can go to a trouser length, and you can see where these lines are coming through. So if I fine tune the masking there, it would be a little crisper in look. Or I can bring it up. Let's say I had a single window, multiple windows, and needed to have a sill. I have that capability to showcase it for our clients. I'm going to move over to our switch room and go to our photo gallery for a moment and show you some of the other features and enhancements that have come through. But definitely go play with this and with the uploaded photos, and you're going to see how fast it is. It's amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. So I'm going to go to this particular one. This is the Maureen Alto favorite of her picture galleries. And let's go through a little bit more on the product types. But as I do that, I want to use a best practice reminder that when you're doing a visualization, it's really a good idea. Work top down on this menu, product type, material colors, and options. So a visualization is never complete until you've completed the option selection. I still have a couple of you reaching out here and there or through your TSMs asking, hey, what about this? Where's that sun up, sun down? Where's that bottom up, top down? Well, when you go into options, that's where you start seeing more of this information. All of the blinds and shades are going to show you where you can do multiple per head rail, as well as then here for cellular opening options. So we have our standard, our bottom up, top down, and our sun up, sun down. But what I want to show you here, which was added to the bottom up, top down, chords. Might be a little bit light, but we've improved on this so they're far more noticeable. You can't go too dramatic to say, yes, they do have chords, and then it deters people from that because it's more involved or looks greater than what it would be in reality. But here you can level set those expectations by showing that we've added the chords here. So let's look at a couple of the other new product types. So we have Roman shades. Always with each product line, we're going to have a default product that's listed for you. Work with your filters going top down. So here with the Roman shades, our filters are working on color range. So I'm going to bring this to the aquas and blues. We can see what we have available in here. Let's go ahead with that Midnight Regal. So here we have selected that. I'm going to move this away. And don't forget, you have that capability of download photo. If you're ever working with your clients and they want to get a sense of what products look like, but haven't given you the opportunity yet by sending you a photo, especially for these virtuals, go ahead and showcase through these. As well as then, if they send uploaded photos, go ahead and download some of these, put it into a copy and paste into a PowerPoint and set that example as a review with your client, especially on that first virtual. If you've already done any type of phone probing or discovering of likes of what they're looking at, this can really help set the tone and really discern those likes, because it's a little harder to articulate look and feel without the images. So let's take a look then here. We've done the product type. Then we have what is the material and color, which is always your filters. And again, with filters, work top down. And then with our options. So right now with the Roman shades, our options are listed to having the number of shades per window. So this is 3 shades per window with the 1 valance across. Now we can take a look at our other new product that was added, the natural shades. Absolutely love how this is turning out in Visualizer. So that was our product type. This is our material options. Again, with it coming to the filters, we're coming to the style element. So here it's selected on all, it's 39 colors. So that's not so bad. I'm going to kind of just click through, but I want to bring one with a little bit more kind of the woven woods and texture, and that really showcases here. And then you can also demonstrate the operation and what you have with stack. So really impressive there. Now, we do need to add the option for liners in this. It is not available right now. As we come into options, again, we're just seeing number of shades per head rail, but we will be adding in. You can still showcase this now and have that discussion with your client. What does it mean about the visibility? If I'm seeing outline of trees looking out, and if this was a bedroom, guess what I'm going to see in, especially at night. So that's where you can at least level set those expectations and talk about liner options, but it is on the roadmap to this for the liners to be added soon. Another, let's come back to my new favorite, draperies. I just love this. Now, one of the things that are set up as you use drapery in the photo gallery, some of the windows based on these rooms will set up differently. So as you can see here, this has been set up as one window, right? Two draperies on each side with the split draw. Lovely. But if I go to a different room, that may take on a different look. Let's go ahead and take a look at this and switch for the product type to drapery. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to build out like a small little cheat sheet that I can put on Graber Direct in with the user guides, and that your portal where it shows for the online training, and that can reference how these are going to be set up. Now, we do recognize right now it's all grommet style. We have on the roadmap to include greater drapery hardware, as well as moving to the different pleats. So we can show this in pinch, 2-inch pinch pleat and inverted and so on. Those will become available. We are also increasing the light filtering for drapery, so it's much more reflective to each of the fabrics, and the capabilities for liners where applicable. So more to come as you see that. Now I'm going to just go back to my past one so we can play with our drapery a little more. All right, so here as it comes to the filtering is based on style. There are a lot of colors here. So some of the feedback is, can we put this more to color filtering for the drapery category? So I'm hoping to see that in the near future. But with it, let's just go ahead and grab a pattern. They spent a lot of time making sure pattern repeat shows appropriately to each of these. And so, you know, as you do it for an uploaded photo and you put in that approximate width, that's what's going to drive how the pattern repeat shows for draperies. Now, I've had questions come up like, well, I love using the photo galleries, but I can't move the curtain height or the drapery height. No, you can't. The hardware is where it is on this. But if you do have an uploaded photo, when you do masking, you're setting the parameters there. So you can go higher for that outside mount and go to ceiling for the very dramatic look and bring it all the way to the floor. You have that capability there, just not at this time within our photo galleries. As we go through, we've already done the material and colors. So now let's take a look at the options. And in here, what we have available is the change of the opening. So we can move to an opening left and then show the movement of that. And if we wanted to shorten this, you have that capability right down here. If we wanted to bring it more to a apron sill length, go back to an opening right or to a 2 drapery. So a lot of fantastic functionality. Now, another one I want to show you, and I'm sure you're all super excited, but I got to tell you, there's one that when we were doing all the webinars back when we first launched in late April, May, and June, and we're having all these conversations, I heard on every single one of those, and I did quite a few, where's my hidden tilt? So we're going to go over here to shutters. Now, again, opens onto a default product. We can go to our color range and let's go to our beige and browns. I'm going to go ahead and click on the dark cherry here. Now let's go dark walnut. Goes better with the couch, right? Let's go to our style, whether it's all composite or wood. I like this dark, so I'm just going to leave it right there. Let's come ahead over then to our options. And this is the one that really showcases. You have a ton of options here. Not only is this where it really helps to capture the functionality, the different look, but also for you, if you're new to the business or if you're expanding your business and bringing new associates, sales reps, whether it's in showroom or in the home, this helps them. And I think reduce their learning cycle to understand the product. So there's so many ways that you can apply Visualizer in your everyday life. But here, again, shutters. We're going to do the 3, but shutter style, what's a standard, cafe, or double hung. Again, this has been a great tool in really helping closing sales. Quick little story was showcasing this to an actual dealer and had a conversation with somebody that was in the home. And as we were having the conversation, they were texting their client who was really struggling about cafe and couldn't envision cafe. They made an appointment for that afternoon, went out, did the uploaded photo, and closed the sale on the cafe because it just made all the difference for the client in being able to have that visualization. Was on a call with one of the groups of territory sales managers yesterday doing this same conversation, and they had a dealer that closed an $18,000 order by using Visualizer. So think about how this component builds that confidence and level setting expectations with your customers. Makes a really big difference with such a big ticket. Here again, have then your louver size again, and that's where you're allowed to talk, it helps breach that conversation about the required depth of frames. Do you want to have a divider rail? Here, we'll leave it at the no, but the one everybody wanted, hidden tilt. So by default, it will go to single mouse hole, but you can show hidden tilt. And of course, I think always a big piece here is then talking about the different operation, because if you go to, let's say, 2 shutters per window, then you can see more of that bifold action. And I can do that right here, which really helps for people to understand. Now look at how big is this going to be? Well, and this one isn't the bifold, sorry. But it really gives you the capability to demonstrate how big the panel is and what it means for obstructions inside of the window, or weight and capability functionality for them to maneuver and operate. So a lot of features that come through in here, as well as then your panel configuration, which then is going to give you that ability to showcase like with bifold. Okay, the last element I want to tell you and am excited to share, so I always leave the best news for last. The roadmap, we are going to be having an app. Yay! So this will start on Android, hopefully by the end of the year. Fingers crossed, everybody. That's what we're shooting for. So hopefully in January, I can come and show you everything with Android, and then iOS to be a fast follow with that. That's going to allow greater ease and functionality for you by having the app, whether you're going to work from tablets or phones, but great capabilities will then be coming after that when we bring that functionality. So again, remember with upload photo, brand new masking capabilities that are going to shorten your time, your ease to demonstrate the different products in the customer's home. Our new products that are available with drapery, Roman, natural, as well as additional options, getting to see those cords with bottom up, top down, as well as hidden tilt with shutters. I encourage you to keep coming back and playing with Visualizer. There's continuous improvements week after week, some very small, more major like this, but there may be times we aren't able to get you for a webinar to keep seeing these. So keep going back, keep using the tool. I tell you, the more you use it, the greater comfort you will have, and the more your clients will be impressed and confident to invest in window treatments. So with that, Kelly, I'll open it up to any questions there may have been on these new enhancements.
Yes, thank you. I think some you answered just organically, but to run through them very quickly once again, someone asked early on, is the iPad supported at this time? So as you mentioned, it is coming. So really excited to expand the devices for this because we have heard the feedback loud and clear. So it is on its way. Somebody mentioned, I know how to add blinds on the visualizer, but how do I put draperies or drapery panels over the blinds?
So that's going to be coming. And I love that layering concept. That is a total selling solution, right? And what the best way to really showcase it to the home. So we do have on the roadmap to look at how do we layer draperies to the blind shades or shutters, as well as then a next step, let's talk about other finishing touches like cornices. That's on the roadmap. I just do not have a date for you yet.
Awesome. Somebody also mentioned, can you switch out the rod for the drapery? I believe you touched on that is
coming
down the line in terms of options to add in.
Yes, that will be coming.
Someone made a comment, adding sliding panels would be very helpful in terms of having those discussions with clients. So I'm certain that's on the roadmap as well.
Yes, that is, but I'll certainly bring that feedback to the core team that works on this and let them know. I don't have the date, but I know I have seen sliding panels on the roadmap.
A lot of love this. This is a great added feature. Someone asked a more specific timeline for the iOS. We will be certain to share out a timeline as soon as we know it via a Graber marketing email. And obviously your TSM is always a great resource for the most up-to-date information. So please use them for any questions.
And Kelly, I am updating some of the user guides. I just need a little bit more time, you guys. But on Graber Direct, on those online training resources, you have the current user guides, and I'm updating others to reflect these enhancements. So make sure you also can take a look at those.
Here's just a recap of what Maureen went through. And here is a reminder of the Visualizer digital toolkit assets we have available for you all in the resource library. So we want you guys to continue pushing this as a resource for your customers, for lead generation. Use them during your in-person or virtual consultations to really set those expectations. So just a reminder that these assets are available in the resource library. And here is where all of those training documents that Maureen mentioned, if you go to the training landing page on Graber Direct, and then go to online trainings, there is a whole dedicated section to the visualizer. And as Maureen mentioned, we will be updating that with these additions very, very soon. But I always encourage you guys to go out here and see the latest and greatest in terms of trainings. To close this out, we quickly wanted to shift gears and talk about the new post-purchase program that Graber is releasing. This is essentially live right now, starting in November. So any faux wood consumer product orders will now include this warranty card that encourages your consumers to register their products through GraberBlinds.com and essentially activate their warranty. Well, do note, they don't need to register their product in order for the warranty to be valid. It's essentially kind of just that added gut check for your consumers. Also, just want to reiterate that this will be an excellent way for your customers to kind of have a refer back to your dealer information for future sales opportunities and referrals. We're hoping that this registration process will help you in the long run and definitely keep Graber top of mind whenever your consumers are looking for their next window treatments or to redecorate or remodel. So I know that was very quick, but we do have a short video outlining this new kind of warranty and registration process. I'm going to show it here, but this video is also available or will be available in the resource library on Graber Direct for you guys to reference back to and view at any time. But I'm going to play it quickly right now, and then we will close it out with any following questions.
Welcome, Graber dealers. I'm Maureen Alto, Director of Trade. I'm going to take a few minutes with you to cover our new warranty card and registration process. Your customers are going to be invited to register their new window coverings. It's simple to complete and will take no time at all. Inside each shipping box is a card for each item. Be sure to look for these as you unpack orders, as each card has a unique code specific to that customer's order. So I'm going to walk you through what does this card look like, the registration process, and then some key dates. Let's dive in. Here's the front side of the card, and starting November 11th, your customer can start digitally registering their warranty information. Not only does this reinforce our commitment to product quality and our limited lifetime warranty, but also provides direction to your customers on where to go for questions or if trouble arises, ultimately improving your customer's experience with Graber products. Let me show you the other side of this card. Customers are instructed to scan the QR code, which will bring them to the landing page of the registration site, or they can visit graberblinds.com/registration. Your customers will be asked to reference their unique product code when completing the registration. This matches the information that's located on the headrail, so no need to uninstall if trouble comes down the road a couple years later. As consumers come into the site, it's clearly defined for product registration. If your customer already has a Graber account, they can log in and get started. If not, they'll be prompted to create an account or continue without one. Next, they'll enter their registration details, name, email, and address, many of these being required. Here on the product registration page is where that unique product code gets entered. Customers are encouraged to enter each of their blinds or shades. Once completed, your customer will be thanked for registering their products. If they haven't set up an account, they get another chance to do so here. Registered products will appear in My Account section of graberblinds.com, so it's always accessible and at their fingertips. This also drives greater utilization back to the Graber site, which keeps you top of mind. Once everything is completed, your customer will receive an email. Within this email, they'll get a welcome and thank you. Congratulations on your new purchase, warranty details and key information, fast facts, tips, numbers to call for parts or help, as well as social channel information like follow us on Facebook, as well as the opportunity to review their product. As mentioned earlier, starting November 11th, warranty cards will be included for every faux wood blind. We will continue to expand the warranty card and registration process throughout 2021. Early in the year, we look at implementing cellular and solar roller. Communication will be provided as product lines are added. What we ask of you is to inform your installers. Make sure they look for these cards as they unpack, and before leaving the customer's home, handing them each of their unique warranty cards so that they can register their products. Again, simple to use and just minutes of their time. We thank you for your time, commitment, and being a Graber dealer. If you have any questions, please reach out to your territory sales manager. Thank you for your time.
So hopefully that gave you all a good summary of this new program. As mentioned, your TSMs have been trained on this program and would be a great resource. And again, that video will be made available to you all through the resource library on Graber Direct for you to watch again. But to address any last minute questions, there's one regarding drapery rods for inside out. Are we going to offer them through Graber? Currently, there had been no changes to the drapery hardware program. We do still have the stock product program. Will the registration send them back to us or directly to Graber. So the registration process does take them to Graber Blinds, but I believe there is always a tie back to your dealer account. Well, with that, I will close out this webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us. And if you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.